If you want to support Black-owned and operated businesses in the Grand Strand area and beyond, check out the networkconnects.com for a complete list of establishments in our local area. Our network connects Black businesses to community for a wide range of services, products, organizations, and resources that are viable in the African American community. You'll find a wide range of products and services that'll fit your needs, along with information about events and happenings around the local communities. Check out the networkconnects.com, connecting Black businesses to community. The networkconnects.com.
Hey, good early evening, everyone. This is April Garner, founder of the network, and welcome to the Network Live. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate having you all here on another beautiful Friday, chilly, but beautiful Friday afternoon. And of course, you know, I typically have my partner in crime, Dr. Winston D. McIver Jr. Here on the show, and we have focused on our COVID-19 updates for quite some time now. You know, it has been, 9, 10 months or whatever. And I usually make that point every single Friday. But as most of you have learned in the past week, Dr. McIver is actually battling COVID right now, and he is actually doing pretty well. I have talked to his beautiful wife, Angela, and she says that he's coming along just fine. As with COVID, it's kind of the virus that keeps us guessing, and we never know how it's going to affect one person to the next. As a matter of fact, whenever I spoke with Dr. Mack, early last Friday, he said he was feeling a little ill, whatever the case is, but had a negative COVID test at that time. And, being the doc that he is, decided to do another test to see how, if it was consistent, and took another test. And then that's when he found out that he was indeed COVID positive. And so, a couple of things we can talk about that come out of this particular situation. One thing that struck me immediately was the fact that no one is exempt. And the thing that I think that everyone needs to understand is that, just as I talked about the fact that we're all human, we're all susceptible to this virus. It doesn't matter how careful you are. It doesn't matter what precautions you take. And you can be doing everything right. And then there is, one person or a group of persons, who are transmitters of this virus, and then you are affected by that. And so that's why it's highly important that we all do our part. And yet, and still, there are people who don't want to wear a mask. There are people who want to gripe about wearing masks and having to do certain things that are about the protocols and procedures that are supposed to alleviate some of the issues with the virus. And, because I'm someone who has been personally affected in that I've lost family members due to COVID, I just can't really understand the logic behind it. And so, with Dr. Mack's situation, he has been, advocating for, good behaviors all this time, educating us every single week, making sure that we have stats and figures and things that we need to know, graphs, charts, special guests, and all this good stuff. And yet, he is affected by it as well. So, what I want you all to take away from this is that it definitely takes a village, and it takes all of us to do our part. And whenever you have to go around healthcare workers, because they are working so incredibly hard, just make sure that they are aware of your situation. and they understand what they're dealing with whenever you have to go into their offices, because not only is there a chance that you may be infected, but you are infecting other people. You're infecting the people who are visiting the office. You're affecting the people who work in the office. And, you know, if they have to shut down an office, and that's one line of care that can't be given to anyone else. And I'm not saying that's how he contracted COVID, but you have to wonder in his daily dealings, you know, he's a doctor, so he's coming in contact with patients. He's coming in contact with other types of people because he's wearing many different hats. He's just living everyday life. And then he has to go home and still be a father and a husband, you know, and a son, an uncle, and all that other good stuff. So we want to make sure that we are really looking out for one another, and we're trying to protect not only our own, but everyone else around us. So, you know, just make sure that you do your part. I know that there have been a lot of articles and information circulating lately about the idea of double masking, especially in light of the fact that there's a new strain. And of course, I can't speak on anything in terms of what data shows or what the research is showing. But what I can say is that, you know, I don't think we can take any precaution lightly. And I do believe that what we should do is our own research to find out, especially from reputable sources, to find out what the truths are. As you know, Facebook now is in the habit of fact checking everything. So if you post an article and you see a little fact check box at the bottom of your article, it's because there's something within that article that may not necessarily be true or accurate. And so it meaning full accuracy. So you'll want to just do the research. And then from there, you know, pick up the phone and ask a healthcare official. Call DHEC, call, you know, if you have a close relationship with your doctor or, you know, some type of a healthcare provider or a frontline worker, you know, call them up, text them. I'm sure everybody knows at least somebody who works in the medical field, and find out what they know. And if you educate yourself, as the saying goes, when we know better, we do better. I think we can make informed decisions about how to handle this COVID situation. And as I said last week, I'm ready for Rona to go somewhere and sit down. And I know all the rest of you are too, especially if we keep having beautiful days like this and the sun is shining and it's going to get warm soon. We want to get back to socializing and doing the things that we've always done. And we certainly can't do that if we're not doing our part. So I'm going to just put that out there to implore everyone to just do your part. Okay. Today we have a great lineup, and we're going to have a really good show today, probably about, 30 or 45 minutes long, but we're going to feature some more Black businesses. This is Black Business Friday. And so I want you to support these local businesses and also the efforts that they will be talking about today. And hopefully we can bring new businesses to you every single week, because there's lots of Black-owned business out there. There are lots of young entrepreneurs, lots of programs and events and things that are being produced and directed and sponsored and just coordinated by members of the Black community. And so we want to make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on. And so I'm going to start with just a few of the announcements for things that are coming down the pipe for this weekend. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the, can you believe it's already January 30th? It's the end of January already, guys. If you're like me, a state employee, I'm happy about that, of course. But we never mind. That's a tangent. But anyway, the James R. Frazier Center is having a drive-through style food drive on tomorrow at 10 a.m. So if you're in need of some items, please go to the James R. Frazier Center. Of course, that is in the beautiful port city of Bucksport, South Carolina. And you can pick up some food that has been donated to the communities. Whatever you need, I don't know what you need, but you can always call the James R. Frazier Center, ask for Betty Gauze. Of course, she is the everything down in Bucksport. She really does bring her community together. She is all about community. She is they're probably one of their strongest advocates and supporters. And so she should be able to give you some information about the food drive. And that is tomorrow at 10 a.m. I also want to make mention of an event that is happening, and I actually have a little, I hope you guys can see this flyer. It was sent to me, but it's Mothers Against Violence. They're having a candlelight vigil to honor victims of gun violence, and that's going to be on February the 8th. So mark your calendars, because yes, we're getting ready to go into February. February the 8th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Burgess Community Center. They will have social distancing, and attendees need to stand by their cars. But there's the address. And for more information, just contact Liz Bowens. Her phone number is there. And I may show it again if we have time at the end of the show. But Mothers Against Violence is having a candlelight vigil on February the 8th from 6 to 7 p.m. Just also want to make mention that I'm also a co-host of WCM Live, which is on Monday nights at 7 p.m. And this coming Monday night, our special guest is Ms. Rose Rock. And of course, you know, Rose Rock is the mother of Chris Rock. And she's going to be on the show to talk about her new book. And that book is entitled Mama Rock's Rules, The Lessons for Raising a House Full of Successful Children. That's good. We need to know how to do that. We need to know the secrets to success, because her children are certainly successful. And she's going to talk about her new book. She's also going to talk about Black History Month, the importance of why we celebrate and honor our ancestors and our inventors and wonderful people who remind us of why Black history is so important. You know, we are Black history. We're making Black history right now. So, you know, we definitely want to hear what Ms. Rose Rock has to say about the importance of this observance. And so tune in on Monday night at 7 p.m. WCM Live. You can catch it here on Facebook. You can catch it on our YouTube channel, which is WCM Live Talk Radio. And you can also watch it on WCMagazine.net. Also want to make mention of another program that broadcasts weekly, twice a week, and that is A Gathering Place, and that is produced by the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce and Ms. Marilyn Hemingway. A Gathering Place usually airs on Sundays and Wednesdays at 4 p.m., and she always has thought-provoking, very compelling topics. As you know, Marilyn Hemingway is, as I like to say, straight no chaser, and she will definitely bring those issues to the forefront. So tune into her shows and find out what her hot topics are every week. You can catch it here on Facebook as well. You can go to her Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce Facebook page and website and find out more information about upcoming guests and show topics. And just coming down the pike, I want to let you all know that, of course, we are going into Black History Month. And so now it's time to celebrate all things Black. And the one thing that I believe when it comes down to Black History Month is that every month is Black History Month. The contributions of many Black Americans has really catapulted this country into the world power that it is, and the inventions and, in the sciences, mathematics and business, it just about every industry that you can name, we have some individual that we can note who probably pioneered something that we're using right now today. And so in our Black History Month observances, let's make sure that we honor and respect our ancestors, those who came before us, who've paved the way for us to do some amazing things like what we're about to hear about today on the show. But also, honor our culture. There are a lot of times people don't really understand our culture, which means that they don't really understand us. And so it's up to us to make sure that we're doing the things that are necessary to introduce people to the things that they don't really know about, but also have those conversations that are meaningful so that we can unite and really understand one another a whole lot better. And so part of what you might hear about, and I won't say might, what you will hear about in next week's show is going to be an organization known as UNCF. And everyone should know what that acronym stands for. It's the United Negro College Fund. And we're going to have some special guests here on the network live to talk about why a mind is a terrible thing to waste. That's right. And we're going to talk about how UNCF is still supporting after, decades, Black students who are trying to get their education, who are going into higher education institutions, typically HBCUs, and what the financial support really means to them. And so UNCF is gearing up for their annual fundraisers. And this year, I have a little inside scoop that they're working on something virtual, but also we're working on some other fundraising efforts here in the local community with a group that has been put together by one of the icons in our community. And I won't say much more after that, but I can tell you that it does involve the Divine Nine and businesses, churches, a few other individuals and entities who are all about supporting Black education, because as we know, Black education means Black excellence. So tune in next week on the Network Live, and we'll have more information about the upcoming United Negro College Fund fundraising drive. So with that being said, I want to get right into our show for the day, because we have our special guests and they're all lined up. And today we have let's see, we have I guess we can call it a restaurant and then some. We have someone representing the technology world, and then we have a very special guest who is going to talk about another great platform that has been introduced to this market and to the world, where we can discuss issues and talk about things that are all about the idea of sisterhood and elevating women. And so we're going to get right into that. I'm going to go into another quick commercial break. I want to play that commercial again for the Network Connects. Remember, if you are a Black business owner and you want to promote your business, or be added to the directory so that everyone can find you, especially if they're coming to the Grand Strand area, make sure you register your business to be listed on www.thenetworkconnects.com. All you have to do is go to the website, click one of the boxes. There's a red box, or you can go to the contact page and fill out the form, and we will receive that information and make sure that we get your information onto the website with the next update. Really soon, I'm going to release our Network Connects e-newsletter, and also we will be updating the website with all of the new business info that we've collected over the past month. And so you don't want to miss out. We've got some great things coming, including our Business of the Week spotlight and some other things that we'll showcase on this website. So again, I'm going to play a quick commercial, and then we'll be right back.
If you want to support Black-owned and operated businesses in the Grand Strand area and beyond, check out thenetworkconnects.com for a complete list of establishments in our local area. Our network connects Black businesses to community for a wide range of services, products, organizations, and resources that are viable in the African American community. You'll find a wide range of products and services that'll fit your needs, along with information about events and happenings around the local communities. Check out thenetworkconnects.com, connecting Black businesses to community. Thenetworkconnects.com.
All right, and welcome back to the Network Live. I'm April Garner, founder of the network, and now I'm going to bring onto the screen with me Tamars McCallum of Team Logic IT. Tamars.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing well.
All right. It is so good to see you, my friend.
Same here.
Yes. So before we get into it, Tamars and I got to know each other and actually worked together once upon a time in hiring. And he is a technology guru in my book. And now we're Team Logic IT, and has some great things going on with this company. And so wanted to make sure that he had the opportunity to talk to all of you about what he does with Team Logic, and also why, if you will, kind of, talk to us about the career options and why it's important for our community to pay attention to what's going on in IT, and also to kind of direct our children into careers in IT. So Tamars, the floor is yours.
Thank you again, April, for having me. Again, my name is Tamars McCallum. I'm with Team Logic IT. I serve as the Director of Customer Technical Strategy. I do a lot of the networking for the company, and sort of serve as the local face of the company itself. But we are an IT solutions provider where we like to partner with businesses of all shapes, sizes, and forms, and help them to advance their business through the use of technology. A big piece to what we do, especially today, is compliance. And we do a lot of education. So the education piece, for instance, everybody wants to know what's going on with COVID. I would use the network's weekly updates as probably one of the most reliable sources for getting, secure information and accurate information about COVID and what's going on with COVID, versus you checking your email and you're getting emails, from everywhere about COVID, like, what to do, what not to do, or, oh my God, you need to do this. and you don't know whether that email is legit or not. Yet you click on it, and next thing you know, you've been a victim of social engineering, where
Mm.
they just used you to connect to your company's network. Connecting to that email, it might have an effect on your company's network immediately. It may not. Sometimes they can connect to your network, and then they can just over time either sit dormant or continue to add different things that will allow them to infiltrate or hack into your network eventually. And then it could be in the form of a ransomware attack. It just could be in the form of being shut down. If you if you've read in this week's news, you will have known that Georgetown County was just hit with a cybersecurity attack, over the
Wow.
weekend, and
Hmm.
they're compromised. So in that compromise, where you might not think it means anything to you, it just depends on the network that it hits. So if it's hit a network where we know that you might pay your water bill or your electric bill, or you might pay your taxes through
Hmm.
that network, guess what? There's a chance that your information has been exposed. Just think about the information they have. They have your name, your address. If you're paying electronically, they have access to either your bank account, your debit or credit card. And if you want to keep your money, they need to make sure that they're upholding their end of the bargain, and they're trying to prevent those compromises. Well, at Team Logic IT, we take a
Hmm.
very proactive approach to IT. And so we protect you so we try to prevent those things from happening. Those things, nobody can promise you 100% that it will not happen to your business, because unfortunately we just have hackers that are sitting in caves and dens and
That's what
basements.
they do all day.
And that's all they do
Hmm.
all day is they're trying to find. And as for some of them, it's fun. If you've seen kind of historically, a lot of them would do it just for the fun of it. They've hacked into the networks of different cities, like large cities like San Francisco, New York, and they've just done it for fun. Just say I did it. Well, they go do their prison time, and then large companies hire those hackers to help prevent those things from happening in the future. But
Wow.
some of them do it for the ransom. They do it for the money. They
Hmm.
hold your data hostage, and we've seen that happen with companies.
Yeah.
I mean, locally, just don't think that it can't happen to you, because it can. It will happen to you if you don't have the proper securities into place. So we've seen where they've asked companies for, as little as $10,000, as much as a half a million, up to $1 million. And you got to think, do I really have that money to give to these hackers? I can get access to my data again, but
Mm.
then what have they really done, and have they really removed themselves from my network, and do I have other vulnerabilities that are going to come up later? Those are all very, very important questions to ask. Well, I was just explaining to someone yesterday. I say it's easy for smaller businesses. You're starting off, fairly new, or you've been in business for a long time, but you don't think you need the services of a technology provider or technology partner. Well, I'm here to explain to you, you do. If you
Right.
want to remain in business, because a ransomware hit of $500,000 could cause you to shut your doors permanently.
Mm.
Even a smaller ransomware hit might cause you to close your doors permanently. You just don't know. And you got to think about all the lives of the people that work for you, that are going to be impacted by you closing. So
Hmm.
it's important that you educate yourself, that you reach out to Team Logic IT. We do free network assessments. We'll come
That's
into your
awesome.
office space, or we could either do it remotely, and we'll come in and take a look at what you have. Talk about, what are some of your pain points when it comes to technology, and what are some of the things that we can do and partner with you to allow you to be able to run your business and focus on making money, and not have technology be such a burden for you. So we
Hmm.
offer a number of services that honestly, there's literally like nothing that we can't do. We partner. I tell you, one unique thing that we do is we do a lot of co-managed services, but we also do a lot of, now we've been taking over network services for companies that have originally been with larger companies. Like, they could have been a larger financial services company.
Right.
They could have been a part of a large, like, law network. They could have been a part of a number of things, or something. They just been kind of serving under that umbrella, but they decided, well, guess what? They've been paying money to those companies to protect them as far as their technology goes. We've been able to
Mm-hmm.
come in and provide those services at a fraction of the cost. So,
Mm.
so there are a number of things that we can do. We specialize in finding unique solutions for companies of all sizes. I mean, and it doesn't matter, what you do. In compliance is huge. I tell you, one of the easiest things that we find that most people are not in compliant, where they're running businesses and they're running um like iPads and
Yeah.
Square machines for credit
That's
cards.
important. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They do not have a firewall in place. And the SEC requires that you have a firewall in place, because those you have to separate those transactions from all your other network connectivity. If you don't do that, it puts you at higher risk of being hacked or being intercepted. And I don't know about, I don't know if they have a cyber insurance policy that that they've purchased from an insurance company that would even cover those things. So
Mm-hmm.
we've been working with a lot of companies that have cyber policies, but then they're still not sure exactly what's being covered or what's not covered, helping them to
Mm-hmm.
dissect those policies and make sure they have the proper things in place to protect themselves, just in case something like that were to happen. Just from the educational standpoint, it is so important. I think the state of South Carolina has done a great thing by introducing coding to students across the state of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
If you'll notice, some colleges, I think Morehouse College has even has added an entrance requirement where if you want to become a first semester freshman there, you have to have some computer science credit. But it is so important that you immerse yourselves into technology. It could be programming, could be more of a networking deal. It could be anything from you working with break fix with computers, or actually, going into some complex cybersecurity practices where you're able to help secure networks, build networks,
Mm-hmm.
anything from designing buildings and making sure that it's important that the network ports are in the right place, that those drops
Exactly.
are in the right locations, because that could cause you money if they're in the wrong location, and you got to open up some walls again and have that stuff redone. So we even work with churches as well. So we
I was
do
going
a
to
little bit
ask
of
if
everything. Yeah.
everything. Yeah. So, do you
Mhm.
do any residential? Or you all commercial?
We do pretty much all commercial. So
Okay.
I'll tell you, 95% of the work we do is remote. As you can see, I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What the thing is, that's the way IT support should be done. Your IT support persons you shouldn't depend on them having to come to you every time you have a problem, because guess what? You're not the only customer they have.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they should be doing is proactively protecting you. So we put agents on computers that actually monitor not just the traffic on your computers. They monitor it for antivirus. We do scans, we do patches and updates. We also monitor the health of the actual physical computer itself. So if we notice that there's a piece of hardware that might be about to go, your hard drive might be in jeopardy, or it may be at a point where it's just about to break. Same thing with your memory, or maybe even a processor or a fan. We get notification of it. We order the parts. You don't even know what's going on until we call you to say, hey, we noticed this is going on with your system and we need
Mm-hmm.
to come in and replace it. And we start to schedule that time to come in and get that work done. So
Well, that's
that's
very.
that proactive approach.
I was
Not,
going to say that.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it should
Mm-hmm.
not be, you wait and something breaks and then everybody has to scramble to try to get it fixed. That is not the way
Mm-hmm.
that technology should be handled nowadays. It must be
Exactly.
proactive.
Exactly. Well, I tell you what, Tamars, this is some great information, and it's so much, and I have so many questions.
Mhm.
I think I need to bring you on for like it and give you your own show,
Oh,
because
no.
there are a lot of no, seriously, there's a lot of
Yeah.
IT questions,
Yeah.
especially for our business owners.
Yes.
And when you brought up the thing about the square that they use or whatever, I
Mhm.
mean, we see that so much, and
Yeah.
I don't think people really think about the security of it. And I don't know how well they're informed of security measures that they must take, but they need to know these things. And the whole ransomware and all that, that's very real. As you know, you mentioned Georgetown County, but Horry County Schools was hit with that years ago.
Years ago.
You know, and it's really, really messy situation. But you know, one other question that I want to ask you is about careers with Team Logic IT. So do you all offer internships? Do you have career opportunities? What does one need to have or know or do in order to get into the field that you're in?
So in order to get into this field, you need to have at least an associate's degree in computer science or information technology. And if you could have some cyber experience, that would just kind of set you over the top. Luckily for the local 2-year school here offers, very, very, very good programs. And I think network management and in cybersecurity is only a 1-year program. And there's, you can go into that program not knowing a thing and come out, very well versed in what it takes to protect someone's network. So, and you got to also think this is you don't go to school and you learn it and it's a one-time deal. You're always going to be learning because there are different challenges that are presented to you every day. So you have to be the type of person that where you like to read, you like to keep up with what's going on, you like to network and speak with other people that are in your shoes and other organizations and see what they're doing to protect themselves. And just kind of help each other out because it's just that important. Data is so important, because you got to think if you're trying to, purchase a home or a car right now, but you've been, a part of a compromise and someone has, stolen all the money out of your bank account. You think you're gonna get that financing? You think it's gonna actually get approved? Yeah, exactly. That's a real thing to think about because that's what's happening. And everybody is scrambling to try to find as much money as they can and pocket as much money as they can. Look at what's happening with the stock market right now.
Oh yeah, that's another topic that I'm definitely working on. Yeah, it's crazy. It's about as crazy as the Rona. It really is. But
crazy. It's like Enron all over again. So
all over again.
They're not hiding it.
They're not hiding it. Exactly. Well, Tamara, this has been some wonderful information, and I see the comments in the stream or whatever. Thank you, Cleve Burgos from Charlotte, North Carolina. She says great information, and Leon Hunt. I think Leon's in the Charlotte area as well. Great topic.
That's my frat brother.
Yeah, that's your frat brother. You want to give out a shout out to your frat?
Shout out to Leon Yo.
And then lots of people are saying hello to Mars. You must be pretty famous.
I know those are my friends that are coming.
All your friends. All right.
And family. Well, more like family.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, again, I'm going to have you back and we're going to do a more extensive show and kind of pinpoint some topics that would be very relevant for businesses and to talk more about the education piece. But, it's certainly a pleasure to have you here. And of course, he had a shot back too. Yeah. Pleasure to have you here. So thank you so much. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Stay safe.
Thank you again for the opportunity. Stay safe. Bye.
All right. You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. So that was Tamaris McCallum, and he is with Team Logic IT. Excellent. Like I said, just brilliant mind in the IT world, and he knows the stuff. And I'm going to have him back on the show so that we can talk a little bit more about how all of this impacts your business and why it's important for you to be on top of your information technology structures. So now we're going to bring on Juice and Tings.
It's Juice and Tings. It's Juice and Tings.
Hey, that's all I get. That's all I get. You said y'all have a theme song. Last week you were trying to give it to us and then take
play it for you.
Okay, play it for us. How you doing, Dana?
Good. How are you?
All right. Welcome back.
Thank you for having us back on.
You are. I had to do it. I'm telling you, we were struggling last week, but we got it this time. So Juice and Tings, while he's working on your theme music, why don't you tell everybody more about the business and who you are? First of all, let's start with that. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Dana Armstrong. Smalls is my maiden name. I'm from Burgess.
Okay.
I've been in retail for 21 years. When Steinmart closed in October, I was lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. Then my brother said, hey, you want to do something? I say, sure. He said, you down? I said, yes, I'm down. So here we are. You know, when one door closes, another one open for you.
Amen. Always a ram in the bush. You can believe that.
And I thank God for it. I mean, everything has been amazing, wonderful. People have been receptive to us. I mean, we're excited.
And you should be, because you're doing something new, something different. Terrence Butler says, Burgess, y'all have a call?
Yes.
That is awesome. It really is. That's awesome. So, okay. So the bodybuilder here, I did not forget that from last week. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Power. You know it. Guess what?
Do you have the theme? John Smalls. I was going to say, you have the theme music for us? You got to gear it up. Ready?
Let me play it for you.
Right.
Hope everybody vibing with us.
Everybody jamming. I know I am. I'm enjoying this. Thank you, John. Yes, you definitely set the vibe. That was really, really good. So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right, I'm John Smalls from Burgess. It's my sister right here, combat veteran, played collegiate basketball, got into personal training, and I got into all natural bodybuilding, and I was successful in that. Mm-hmm. And then I guess, I was always involved with health as well. When I was in the military, became a vegetarian. It was very odd. A lot of people was like, man, you're crazy. But nah, it was good for me. So so I was always into the health factor. And as well, my brother and I started a business in California called Cane Patch Pies. And then that was very successful. And then once that happened, took off, ended up coming back home, came back to the family, got involved with the family farm, teamed up with Miss Cheryl Adamson out there in Conway at Chops Produce. Mm-hmm. Was operating that place for a while, and then, COVID hit. And then, like my sister said, one door closed, everything slowed down in Conway. Was like, we got to keep going. And then as well, and I was always about making things happen. It's like, we got to keep the ball rolling. And that's what we saw our father do. In my eyes, he was a pioneer. I always see him moving forward. So I was like, all right, once he passed away, it's like, we got to pick up the ball. What are we going to do? We looked in the mirror, it's like the blessings right there looking at you.
That's right.
So kept that ball going. And then, like my sister said, we teamed up, came in here. It was like, man, we got to do something. Mm-hmm. And then we thought about this whole establishment, Juicing Things, and me being in the fitness world and being involved with the juice world and all that stuff. And then as well, I seen my family, not just my family, but people from my community and other people around getting involved with it. So it kind of inspired me because there's nothing new underneath the sun. So I salute to all the ones that's already doing the business, that's inspiring to do the business or whatever. But those people inspired us to continue on doing what we need to do. And we wanted to represent our people. So I was always about representing our people and coming back home. So we wanted to just create a platform and as well just use that energy that I had going, to draw in some of the people that was following us and supporting us. Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible story. And both of you are using skills and talents that you had to create, this new venture. And I think that people need to understand that sometimes you don't have to look far. Just like you said, nothing's new under the sun, but you also don't have to look far in order to find a great business idea. I mean, it could be rooted in something that you already know how to do. Obviously, Dana, your retail experience is coming into play, right? What? And then, and then, John with his love of all things healthy, you two have combined that into Juicing Things, and I love it. Man, I need to be in the next commercial. But anyway, okay, all right. So last week, we kind of touched on the fact that you all have a rich history down in Burgess. I asked you if you were related to Mr. Smart Smalls. And then there were all kinds of people in the thread who wanted to know the answer to the question. They were like, who are the people? I didn't know who their people are. And you mentioned the farms. Are you talking about Freewood?
That's right, Freewood's Farm.
Okay. So let's hear a little bit about that, because you guys are rooted in some very rich history.
Yeah.
Very rich history down there. It started with our forefather, our grandfather, those took it. Then now my uncle O'Neill, Professor O'Neill Smalls, he got that little farm out there. And they just trying to do great things there. I mean, they have hogs, they have chickens, mules. It's a nice farm that somebody need to come out there, just walk around and listen to the history that he's willing to share. I mean, he has an amazing story about the Burgess community.
Now, say that again, John.
And I say it's very important that we realize and recognize that, because just, Burgess alone was one of the first Black African-American farming communities. Correct. And then on top of that, the road that we grew up on was Freewood's Road. So before the Emancipation Proclamation, a lot of the, I'll call them prisoners of war, they ran to that area. So it became the Free Woods. So like, a lot of people say we're natives, but we know that we're natives. We know the connection. So that's why we strive to keep pushing forward. And as well, just that history of the farm, knowing about Free Woods, knowing that we're Smalls, and knowing that we just didn't jump off no boat. No, we were here.
Yeah, we were here.
So that gives us more confidence and that due diligence to continue on that legacy, and just to open up the door and be present for our people and show them that you can have confidence in the skin that you're in. You don't have to be ashamed and hide. These people want to see you have confidence. So that's what that's Smalls and the Freewood's Farm. So like it runs deep in our blood, and it's not just on paper. It's in that blood, and it's in the work that we do. And we show it through our work ethic.
Exactly. And it really is an incredible story. And, I think that, you guys have enough to cover Black History Month in itself, if you wanted to be honest. But I also think that it's a testament to keeping it in the family and making sure that you maintain that heritage and that legacy within your family. So, and I hope that you all continue to do that, because as you know, there are folks who want to kind of chisel off, especially when it comes down to things that are really rich and rooted in history like that. And so protect it as much as possible, because this is, it's our land too. And meaning, there's so much, and I go back to what I said at the beginning, there's so much that people don't know about the contributions of Black Americans. And of course, down in the Burgess community, you all have so much to not only, talk about, but to be thankful for, because you were truly blessed in that community. So Juice and Tings, we got it, we put it together. So tell us a little bit about the Juice and Tings experience. What, if I'm new to Juice and Tings, what am I going to see? What am I going to feel? What is the vibe?
You gonna say, let's go.
Juice and Tings is Juice and Tings, right? So you're gonna feel the I say not just the feng shui, but the vibe, the colors. The colors is gonna draw you, the light, the cultural items that you're going to see. The jewelry you're gonna see, and then as well you'll see our signs, our words of encouragement, honoring our ancestors, the posters of James Baldwin. Well, our local nonprofit, Buddy Bo Wink, which is a Black character.
Wow. Yeah, I can see it in the background. Yeah.
So that's, just showing that we are very confident, but as well, you'll see us, you'll see the juice, as well. You'll have opportunity to order two of our special juices, which is swamp juice, which is made with collard, which is kale, collard greens, beets, and apple. And as well, and then Summer's Nature, it sounds weird, but it tastes good.
Yes.
No, my tongue is quivering. I think I can put it all together, especially with the as green apple.
No, I can't give you the secret. It's an apple, but it's not a green apple.
Oh, I got to come down there and get it. That's what you're saying. Okay, all right.
Come and get it. Come and get it. So, and as well, we got Summer's Nature, which is the other fruity juice. And as well, I want to throw it out there. We don't, even though you get health benefits out of it, we don't push the health beneficial factors of it. because we want to give people the alternative way of drinking. So you're getting a better tasting juice instead of soda or Kool-Aid. And as well, hopefully to encourage them, inspire them to go home. It's like, you know what? I don't need that Kool-Aid today. I don't need that soda today. Let's do something a little bit different. Let's be here. Let's be present. So we want to encourage that healthy mindset, and as well that healthy way of living, and not making it so scary or spooky like. And as well, you'll just see a lot of artifacts, not just artifacts, but things that just represent us. You know, Kwanzaa, the cards, the sage, and stuff like oils.
Oils.
And as well, don't forget, we got the dehydrated dog treat.
Yes.
And the dog toys too.
Yeah, I think that's awesome too that you thought about our fur babies. Yeah, that's good.
Yes, we did.
You got some great soaps and as well scarves. So as well, it's just it's a great place to come and build and be part of, because it's not just about us, it's about all of us. So it's not our space, it's all of our space.
And it's a friendly, you know, when you walk in here, it's friendly, it's homey. You know, I mean, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. We got chairs here. You can get your juice, get your dessert, and have a seat out there and talk with us.
Exactly.
So it's like a friendly atmosphere.
So you're in the Inlet Square Mall, correct?
Yeah. And I want to forget, we have my mama's famous sweet potato pie that we sell too.
Wait a minute. Well, it's a root vegetable, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you said sweet potato pie. Look, I'm scratching. Gotta come down there for that. Sweet potato pie.
Ask Peddler Bell about it. She know about us.
Okay. All right. Well.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, no joke. Okay. All right. Well, we got to visit Juice and Teens and find out more about what you have to offer. I'm excited for you. I tell you, I had a good time with this today. And I'm so glad that you all, you know, came back to tell us a little bit more. And I saw some of the pictures from, I think it was last week, and some of the people that you met, and the two young ladies in the picture. One, I think she was holding the swamp juice. Is that what you call it? Yeah, I saw that picture. And so, you know, you got customers from all walks of life who are supporting you. And I think that's wonderful. It absolutely is. So we wish you all the luck in the world. And I know if you haven't done it by now, make sure you register your business on the networkconnects.com so that people can find you. That's a public website. We're going to be doing more to push that and market it so that people coming into the area will find out more about our Black-owned businesses. And it was certainly a pleasure to meet both of you today. I really enjoyed having you here.
It was our pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Juice and Teens.
It's a party tomorrow. Come visit us. We're having a party tomorrow from 12 to 5.
From 12 to 5 at Juice and Teens.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, everybody heard it. It's a party tomorrow at Juice and Teens. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Virgin.
All right. So that was Dana and John with Juice and Things. And I have one more special guest for you all tonight. And I'm going to bring her up right now. And I tell you, I actually have the pleasure, and it's an honor to work with this guest. She is a dynamo. She's brought a new flavor to the Myrtle Beach area. Started out with a jazz lounge and a playhouse, and now she's doing big things with her concept for a new talk show as well called The Conversation. And I'm going to bring into the view. Hey, Patrice. Hey, how are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing well today. I'm doing well. I've had a good time in here so far today.
Good. It's so funny seeing John just now because I just left Juice and Things.
Oh, you did?
Juice and Things.
Juice and Things.
Yes, and I tasted the juice, and y'all, it was delicious. It was
really
so good. I
really
literally just left.
Did you get the swamp juice or you got something else?
You know what? I don't know. I think it was the swamp juice. The color was the color of the swamp. So maybe that's what it was. But he ran it down what it was, but I didn't remember.
But it tastes good.
It's absolutely delicious. And it's not only the juice that's in there, it's the products that are in there also. That are a lot of natural products there. So yeah, that was so funny. I didn't know he was going to be on today.
Yes. So
we have to support each other.
Oh, absolutely. We have to do that. And so, Patrice, I wanted to definitely give you the floor in this platform to talk about the newest talk show, your vision, your baby, The Conversation. And of course, like I said, you know, I'm honored to be a part of that. And we had our pilot show to air. Actually, it launched on social media, but it aired for the first time on WWMB, the CW21, on this past Wednesday. So it's the third Wednesday of every month, but it came out this past Wednesday. So Patrice, why don't you tell us, first of all, a little bit about yourself and then talk about your vision for the conversation.
Well, I'm from Maryland. I moved down here in 2012 with my husband, newly married. We got married here, actually. And 4 years later, he passed. And that was unexpected. He had cancer. And he died from the complications of it, not exactly the cancer. Mm-hmm. So after that, I didn't know what to do with myself. I wanted to not be here anymore, because when you marry somebody, your life and plans are with them. And when they're ripped away from you, because death is still unnatural, although natural. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was lost. And that's a common emotion that you feel when you lose a spouse. You know, and at such a young age, I was known as a young widow, and I just I deemed it not fair that he was gone so quick. I honestly, you know, had lost the taste of life, basically. I had everything going for me, but still lost the taste of life, because when you commit like that, you become one body, and it was hard. So I had a decision. I could live or die, you know, in the sorrow. And because of my background and my faith, that wasn't even a choice. So I had to find a way to get hope. And when I did that, I opened up the P. Reynolds Jazz Lounge, as well as a theater in the back. I'm a playwright, so I love theater so much. So because, and this is so crazy, we were moving. And it wasn't 30 days later when COVID hit and everybody had to close. I was literally already out of the building, but I couldn't go to the next one because of the pandemic. So I sat at home. And I did not, I wasn't sad about it. I needed the rest. I sat at home, and then finally I said, okay, it's time to do something now. You know, the community, I've watched all of you, number one, with businesses and ideas and trying to think of something to do. And while you are doing that, I wanted to build a platform for what you're doing. And that's, you know, building a platform is pretty much a consistent long haul, because you want it to always get better, you know, and to be able to display Black-owned businesses and people starting out and people that are really trying, that is a joy to me. You finding your purpose is a joy to me. And I had to find that. I had to really realize, oh my gosh, I'm not only a connector, but I'm also a displayer. I like to display what talents God gave you and the gifts God gave you. And so that's how this show was created. The show, honestly, I wanted it to be kind of like a magazine style show where we have fun and then we get serious and then we have fun and then you know, I wanted that, but also I wanted a place to have an excuse to show what you guys are doing out there. And having a show with a ton of commercials with a purpose is good. I know I hate watching TV and having to see all them commercials, but when you position yourself there for a purpose, I want to display these people. So in order to do that, I'll create a show as a distraction, but also welcome a place where I can welcome a lot of people's efforts and trying to do it themselves, you know?
Yeah, and right. And I know that was one aspect of what you were talking about, but the main aspect of what the concept is all about was rooted in celebrating women and sisterhood. And that's what that first pilot program was about, as far as launching. So tell everyone about that particular piece of it, because the business part and connector, that part is great. But I think what sold me on the idea of being a part of this is that the elevation of women and, you know, trying to bring to light the contributions and things that we do, and not just from the standpoint of our excellence, our Black excellence, but you wanted this to be all about women in general and celebration of women. So talk about that part.
Definitely. Well, number one, I'm a woman, so I can relate to women. Women are up on the rise. Mainly Black women are up on the rise, and it's time. We've been at the bottom section of this society for far too long, and now is the time to rise. And while we're doing that, we need to, because of all the obstacles for a Black woman, we need to lift each other up, become steps, allow you to step on shoulders of the elders that have already done it and already have the experience and are waiting to give it to you. So I wanted to build a room where Black women were already powerful, because we've always been powerful. Everything came from us, everything. We've taught so many women of other races how to do things, with our culture. And so I'm sorry, I honestly deem Black women as queens, complete queens of all societies, and the idea of the conversation for women, I wanted it to definitely be known that the show was not only owned by a Black woman, but run by Black women. And sustained by Black women. It's time for us to pull out the powers that we already have, the strength, and it's time for us to display that. So that show, the woman aspect of that show was extremely, April, you're right, the number one reason why I stood up and wanted to do something about it, And of course, when you deal with a Black woman, it branches off to so many other things, which leads to promoting businesses and talking about wellness, of our bodies and our minds and our families and our men. We relate to each other so much. We have a lot to give each other, and I just wanted to create a place where that could happen all the time.
Absolutely. So when we shot our first pilot, it was our Queen Bee segment. And we featured the Queen Bees of Horry County. Basically, the Queen Bees are Mayor Barbara Blaine Bellamy and Mayor Brenda Bethune. Thus the bees, right? The alliteration, as we learned. And that was a very empowering pilot because, first of all, the ladies represented some first in their right, but also it was an opportunity to pull them together to have a conversation so that we can learn more about them and kind of put that humanize them. Because I think that sometimes when you have people who are in powerful positions, we tend to forget that they are human as well. But also, I think that there are some people who are power hungry and they tend to forget that they're human, and they're driven by that. But what we wanted to do was to make sure that everyone got to know both of them. And it was a great show, great conversation. As Mayor Blaine Bellamy, she's a talker anyway. She's icon in my eyes in Conway. And that was my first time meeting Mayor Bethune. But, what was your greatest takeaway from that particular show, and how has that shaped your ideas on other shows that you want to produce for this particular platform?
A lot has happened this year concerning our mayors. Not only were we celebrating the first because of Kamala Harris, we were inspired by her, and we wanted to go in our own town and pick out the first in our own area. And of course, those two were a part of it. Now, the thing about it is I even had a phone call of somebody who watched the show on television Wednesday, and they said, "Hey, I want you to know I saw your show, and I just want to thank you, and I appreciate it because now I came away from the show feeling like I knew them." And then there were other people that probably wanted to know, why didn't we dig into issues? Why didn't we dig into, the George Floyd era? And why didn't you ask them these challenging questions? Well, this platform wasn't for that. It's to celebrate, encourage, and get to know. Everybody has a part of their life that you don't know about. And how they got to their position was the focal point.
Right.
Because, we all want to get to our point, at our place. So basically, I came away from that show very, very empowered that not only all of us, any of us, can call the mayors and they actually respond. That's the one good thing of living in a small town. I grew up in a big town. So it fascinates me that I can call a mayor and they show up for you, or even if they can't show up for you, they will make sure somebody does, and I came away from that show just more empowered with women that can blend together and make stuff happen, especially in government right now.
Especially, exactly. So we're getting ready to shoot the second episode or the second show, and I'm excited about the topic. You want to tell everybody what we are working on so that they can be ready?
Yes, the up and coming show will be about mental health. Mental health. We've been hearing a lot about that everywhere. And now everyone is getting more interested in exactly what, and who needs the mental health and what do you mean? What are you talking about? Are you want to talk about crazy people or we're crazy, all of that. And we're there to answer those questions for you. So we have a doctor that'll be coming on as well as an author that will come on and share their experiences and share their knowledge about mental health in the Black community. Guys, there's a lot of information out there that you can go and look at, even from slavery mentality. You hear that was passed down, and for instance, my family, my grandfather came from Alabama. So Reynolds, you pretty much know where that came from. And my grandfather, he basically taught us to just get a job and keep it. Get a service job, keep it, just make sure you always have a job. So that was instilled in us. And a lot of them didn't go to college. That wasn't instilled in them. They knew about it, but it wasn't instilled. It's something about something being embedded in you by your parents.
Right.
Very important. So with that being said, everybody had a job, So it was pretty interesting seeing the outcome of how that turns out regarding what's passed down to you. And a lot of times that tends to affect your life, because what if a job is not your makeup? What if having a career is not your makeup, but entrepreneurship is? But yet and still you're over here in this job going nuts. That can mess with you, So there's a ton of different reasons why people are going through mental health right now. Most people don't even know that's what they're dealing with.
That's right. They don't realize.
Yeah. Nothing to be ashamed about. Right. Nothing to be ashamed about. It's not something that you did, but it's always good to do a maintenance on your mental check to make sure you're okay. So make sure what you're passing down to your children or whoever you're mentoring is being mentored appropriately, and, just making sure that you're okay.
Exactly. Because I was talking to someone in one of the professionals groups that I'm a part of, and we were talking about a particular cohort that is poised to educate others on social issues. And one of the things that came up was the fact that persons in this cohort tend to have issues that they haven't resolved in themselves, yet they're trying to help other people. And you can't help anybody if you have your own issues that you haven't resolved within yourself. That's the blind leading the blind. So you might be able to come to the table and, be a release for one another. But it's just like me not being married, but I'm trying to tell a married woman how to be married. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. So the bottom line is, I think that there's so much that is underneath the mental health umbrella. And I know that a couple of the subtopics that we said we're going to touch upon in the segment, and this is the reason why we want everyone to be sure to tune in when we release it the next time. A big thing that I really want to touch upon, and we've had this conversation already, but the self-esteem issues and being comfortable in your own skin, the things that really kind of undercut us that are really internal or intrinsic, and we don't know why. Maybe it comes from, what others have said to us and spoken into our lives, and we don't know how to, get rid of that stuff, because it then becomes a thing that we believe about ourselves. And so, that is part of mental health as well, because if you don't believe in yourself, it is hard to filter through a lot of the issues that you may have when you have all kinds of things and people and whatnot coming at you. It's hard to find those balances. And so, not to give away who our special guest would be, but, we're even going to touch upon, the PTSD issues that, you may have, even as a female. And PTSD isn't just for the military, the veteran. PTSD it comes in a lot of different forms. So there's so many different mental health issues. We're going to try to tackle this from the standpoint, of course, of the Black experience as well. But I think that anyone who's watching can pull away from this particular show that's coming up and really understand how it applies to their own life. And so I'm really excited about that. And then, to kind of wrap up on that business aspect of the conversation, the first episode or the first shoot, we featured Ezzy Butler with House of Ezra. And, she was able to showcase her wonderful products. And then we do have another business spotlight coming up. And so there are opportunities if you are a business owner to be a part of this. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page for one. That's one way to get in touch with us. And I'm going to put up at the Conversation Talk Show on Facebook inboxes and let us know, what you're doing, if you have show topics or ideas or, business platform or whatever. And Patrice and one of the producers will, be in touch with you and talk to you about what the possibilities are. But, I think that this is, it is an excellent platform. It's different for me because I've done radio, I'm doing live stream, and now this is something that's showcased on TV. So, we want everyone to make sure you mark your calendars for the third Wednesday in every month. And it's going to be on the CW21. Of course, you have to be on cable in order to see it. But, it's also going to be posted on social media so you can catch the actual show if you're unable to see it on the CW21. So, Patrice, is there anything else you want people to know about the conversation and, our upcoming, especially the upcoming broadcast?
Yes, really quick. We are two Black women that have a show in the South, and it's going to blow up.
All right.
It's going to blow up.
That's
and
right.
I want you guys to be with us now.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to be in communication and in community with each other now. Your support is so important to me in April. I didn't even touch on why April got the phone call to work with me, but it definitely had a lot to do with the way April's mind processes and how she is so in love with her community. And I'm a community girl too. And I just wanted us to not be just alike. Of course, that wouldn't be a good show, but to be like-minded, at the conversation, we want you guys to feel a part of us. We have commercial slots for your businesses at affordable rates, 15-second or 30-second commercials. We want you guys to reach out to us and say, hey, I have a commercial. If you don't have a commercial for your business, please get a commercial and let us know that too, because we'll send you to someone who will do it next to nothing. Okay.
Right.
So we're a well full of information and help. So come to us for help, guys. You need a commercial and you need to get it on the CW. All right. We're also looking for a person to do content for us on our websites and our up and coming website. Okay. Everything is about to take off really quickly. And once CW buys this show, then my hands are off of a lot of things. So if you get in now, then we can keep you with us. And on, if you're looking at the show on YouTube from our webpage, our Facebook page, please subscribe to the show. If you subscribe to the show, CW will also see that. And they'll also want to purchase the show even more. So I want you guys to know how big this is and how it's going to be. It's not going to be just our show. There are going to be other shows popping up behind us because they saw what we were doing and they said, hey, I can do that too. I know two young ladies that after we started, released the first episode, they started a podcast. That's what we do. It's not copying. It's not doing what somebody else is doing. All you're doing is being inspired. And if you copy somebody, make sure you copy the right cat. Okay.
Oh, well, that's a word.
So there is room, y'all. There is room for all of this. God will make room for your gifts. It is already there. So let's not compete. Let's do this together. Don't reinvent the wheel. If you got a question because you want to start a show or you want a show, hey, I might be your producer. Call me or April. Hey, I want to do this. I'm trying to do this. And in the time that we have that slot to help you, we will respond to you and help. We are here to help. We are not here to rise above you and look down. We are here to take you up. So I want you guys to remember that if there's anybody out there that knows how to do content, let us know. We'll every now and then have positions that are available that we will let you guys know about and that we need help. And we'll look for you to contact us about that.
All right.
And the show, although once a month right now, it will pick up in a few months, and we'll be on air 2 Wednesdays out of the month. So we're building and we're growing. And April, I just have to say this. Not I have so much respect for you, and I'm proud of you as a Black woman. I look up to you. And I just want to acknowledge you, and what you've done for my life and what you have added to this project.
Wow. I wasn't ready for that. I don't even have the words because, acknowledgement like that is unexpected, and I don't seek it. I just do what I do.
Of course.
And I told you when we sat down over coffee and tea, that it's a purpose that I feel is God given and God driven, and so I'm going to do what I can while I have this one life, because we only pass this way one time. I definitely want to see it succeed, and I'm it's different for me because I'm not in the driver's seat, and that's good. It feels good to be on the passenger side, kind of looking at the GPS and giving you the whatever direction you ask for. But I think that it's great to see it unfold, to see it grow. And you're right, it's about inspiring people to find their place and to find their niche. And even though, what you've produced here is another talk show, it has its own personality that's different from the network live. It's different from WCM live, and it's going to be different from any other podcast or any other show that's out there. And really anybody can produce a show, but it's about the quality of the show and the quality of the people that you actually have on the show, the caliber of people you have. So it's a blessing. Thank you. Didn't see it coming. I welcome it with open arms, and we're going to just let it do what it do. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to our shoot this month and our special guest. And I just want to thank everyone. I'm going to, put up some comments. I don't know if you see them, but author Tara Hill Stark says, blessing to you ladies. Ms. Audrey Jones, yes, the seeds are planted. I don't know who this Facebook user is, but I love Queens appreciating and uplifting each other. Yes, that's right. And then, of course, people were just kind of throwing out some comments while you were talking. One Facebook user said, preach. I'm sure that's when you were talking about, empowerment. And then, Sugar Hill in the house. Got to give a shout out to the Sugar Hill community in Coward. That's where I'm from. But we definitely do appreciate everyone tuning in today. Miss Coretta Small, she's definitely a supporter. Yes, it's going to be a great topic, and I think we're going to have a wonderful conversation about it. And if you have any thoughts, any of you who are watching or listening, if you have any questions or thoughts, things that you want us to possibly meld into our conversation, hit us up. Go to the conversation inbox or messenger and send us a message, or you can message me, or I'm sure you can message Patrice, and we'll see how to we can meld it into the conversation, because we went into it in the beginning. I'm going to tell this part, and she's definitely a playwright and a director, because we went into it, honey, with a script. It was like, we're going to do this at 5:02, you're going to say this, and at 5:05, you need to be saying that. And so when we were shooting the show, I think it just kind of started rolling, and we were like, okay, throw the cue cards out, it's time to go. And so and I said all that to say that when we start to look at what you want to see and the responses to, what we're saying, then we'll know what you need to hear from us, and we can, kind of blend that into the conversation. So, if you want, Treese, we'll end with this. Everything does have a divine connection. Believe that, because I want you to tell real quickly the story about the name of the show and what you and I talked about and what we discovered when you were telling me, we were discussing the name of the show.
Yes, I'm plugging my phone up, y'all, because this thing say 5%. But anyway, It was crazy how that happened. It's okay. It's plugged in. Anyway, so I'm at home developing the show, right? And in developing the show, I'm like, man, I hate naming stuff because I can never think of a name. So I just did the outline and was going through the process. And I wrote down a whole bunch of names, and I wrote down The Conversation. That sounds good. So I'll make that one of my ideas. But I want to kind of not make a decision until I speak with April, because she might have a better, idea. I love working with teamwork. So we got to the meeting and I gave her the whole spiel. I had to sell the show to April, So once I finished that, I said, now, April, what do you think the name of the show should be? She said, well, we're having hard conversations, you said, and talking about things that a lot of people might not want to talk about. Let's call it The Conversation. I said, April, go home somewhere, because you did not just say The Conversation. She said, yeah, The Conversation. So I had to show her my notes to make sure she could see that was down there. And we were just on the
It was
same.
number one on your list. She had like a journal where she'd been, pretty much planning her game plan for this thing. And she had a list of names, and The Conversation was at the top. Had not seen her notes or anything. So when she told me that, I was like, divine intervention. That's it. That's the name of the show. That's it. Yeah. So, and again, I'm, definitely honored to be a part of this. And so, again, it's going to be the third Wednesday of every month on CW21 at 12:30. Now, I'm going to say this. I know it competes with The Young and the Restless, but y'all already know that Victor going to win, so don't even try it. And just go ahead and at least give us one Wednesday. Just give us one Wednesday. You can catch up later. Because we know it's soap operas. It doesn't matter where you stop. You're going to be able to figure it out later on.
Yes,
or you'll find out.
Y'all.
Yeah, we need y'all.
This is a small town, so we can get to the top really quick.
Yes, absolutely.
So just remember that we need each other. We need you guys to help you.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So thank you all for tuning in. Now, I said 30 or 45 minutes. I always say that, and now we're rolling an hour and 20 minutes. But, that's because we got some good stuff here today. And next week, I will have another slate of guests, and we're going to have some good stuff. And again, we're going to have some representatives from UNCF, or the United Negro College Fund. And you guys need to tune in for this. I mean, this is about Black education and the fact that there's millions of dollars out there for our people, and they're not getting it because they don't know anything about it, and they're not being led to it. And so UNCF is really pushing the charge to make sure that students from Black communities who want to go to college, especially the HBCUs, understand that this money is out there and available. And so I want you to make sure you tune in. And hopefully I'll have some more information on Dr. Mack. Again, he's on the mend. Let's make sure we send up love and light for him, and plenty of prayers, and ask God for blessings and favor as he battles COVID. And for Dr. Mack and his family, and for any of you out there who are dealing with family issues because of COVID, loss because of COVID, our hearts go out to you. And I know it can't be easy. I've had loss myself, but we want you to know that we are thinking about all of you and praying for you. And also, Dr. Mack will be back, and he will be on the scene, and he will be able to tell us what we need to do to move forward and get rid of Rona, put Rona somewhere. Okay. Send her on vacation. So thank you all. Have a great weekend. And as I always say, make sure you mask up, wash your hands, and practice social distancing. And we will see you next week. I'll talk to you later, Patrice.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.